going on, Knicks Nation? It's your boy comes out with a brand new video. Before we get into the video, hit that sub button, like the video, and comment down below your thoughts on this video. Now, without further ado, let's get into the video. So recently, not even an hour ago, reports have started coming out that the New York Knicks are emerging as the first team to get CJ McCollum, or are emerging as the favorites to get CJ McCollum. Now let's talk about CJ McCollum, and then we'll talk about the trade that I personally came out with, because there's no really trade out there right now. It's all speculation, but let's talk about it. So CJ McCollum is 30 years old, going on to 31 very soon, and he is a shooting guard. Now we have Evan Fournier, who is also a shooting guard. So how would that work? Would they play CJ McCollum at the 1, Evan Fournier at the 2? Or is Evan Fournier going to be involved in the deal? And that's most likely what I think is going to happen. But Evan Fournier has played very well recently, so I don't really understand where the correlation is. Now, if he would have done that at the halfway point, 41 games, yeah, by all means, take Evan Fournier. He played garbage, and nobody wanted him. But recently, he has definitely stepped up his defense. He stepped up his offense. He's making shots. He's attacking the paint. He's doing a lot of everything. So CJ McCollum is 30 years old. He's a shooting guard. He's had injury problems, bad back, has ankle issues, lung issues, whatever it may be. So he's injury prone and he's 30 years old, and he's not really a point guard. So that still doesn't solve the Knicks point guard position problem that we had for the last 15, 20 years, 10 years, however long it may be. So that doesn't solve that. Now, it also doesn't help solve the depth issue that we have, because we have Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, and we also have Grimes, Cam Reddish, are all trying to get minutes. So now if you do a 1-for-1, which you're most likely not going to do, so you have to include Evan Fournier, maybe you're going to have to include an Obi Toppin, maybe you're going to have to include Kemba Walker or Alec Burks to make the money work. And since they're trading CJ McCollum, that makes me think that the Trailblazers are going into a rebuild. Now, why would a rebuilding team want Evan Fournier, Alec Burks, and Kemba Walker? So now you're going to also have to throw in a young piece. That could be Obi Toppin. Now you have to throw in picks, maybe one pick. The most coveted draft class that's coming up is the 2023 draft class, where there's a lot of kids, 2023, 2024, whatever it may be, where they're eliminating the 18-year-olds. So there's going to be a lot of kids, a lot of players that are going to be good in that draft class from the first round to the second round. It's going to be a very deep draft class. So that's the most coveted draft class. And if you're giving up the pick for that coveted draft class, that doesn't really help the Knicks get their point guard, or it doesn't really solve the Knicks' point guard position, or just help the Knicks in general. So from that standpoint, I don't get it. Now, hypothetically, if we do get CJ McCollum on the team, and let's say we trade Evan Fournier, Kemba Walker, Alec Burks, and we throw in a first-round pick, so we keep Obi Toppin. So what is our lineup at that point? Who's going to start at the 1? We still don't know. Do you put CJ McCollum at the 1, or do you start him at the 2? Because he's really a 2 that can play the 1. He averages less than 5 assists a game. Right now he's averaging 4.5. His career high is 4.7. So where do you do all of that? Where does that work out? But now let's just say that we have IQ start at the 1, CJ at the 2, RJ at the 3, Julius Randle at the 4, and Mitch at the 5. So is that team really good enough to be, in the playoffs and contend? It's not really a contender team. You're going to be making the playoffs, but you're always going to be in that middle of the pack, like the Indiana Pacers, who are finally going into a rebuild. So you're going to be through the 4 through the 10 seed. You could be in the play-in. You could, not be in the play-in by a seed or 2, but get swept in the first round. And that's not something I really want for the New York Knicks, because that's not going to get us further along in hopefully getting a championship. Because we're first-round exits every year. We're just good enough to make the playoffs, but we're not bad enough to get a good first-round pick. We're not going to get one of the premier assets, and that doesn't really help us. But now you can also say that it helps, the development of RJ Barrett, Quentin Grimes, Emmanuel Quickley, Obi Toppin, and all the young guys. But that's not really going to help us in the now, because we want to be good now and we want to be good in the future. So the trade that I personally came up with is that the New York Knicks get CJ McCollum, and CJ McCollum is making $30 million or 31, however. He's making a crazy contract, so you're going to have to make the money work. So Evan Fournier is at 17. Kemba Walker is at 7. So that's what, 24, 23? So then you also have to throw in Alec Burks, who's also making, I think, $10 million. And that makes the money work. So that's a 3-for-1. Now, to sweeten the deal for the Portland Trailblazers, who are rebuilding if they trade CJ McCollum, you'd have to throw in 1 first, maybe 2 first. You could throw in 1 first and a second. So really, you're looking at CJ McCollum, and you'd have to throw in another guy to make the money work. So let's just say CJ McCollum and LB come to the New York Knicks, and we give them Evan Fournier, we give them Alec Burks, we give them Kemba Walker, throw in a first, and we throw in a second. Is that enough for the Trailblazers? I really don't know. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comment section below what you think about this trade rumor that's happening. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Please hit that sub button and like the video. And peace out, YouTube.